Today we're making a hot honey lime chicken. Stick around with us as we show you how to make this. We have some pretty simple ingredients today. We're going to use some grilled chicken tenders. These have the tendon in them, so we're going to need to remove those. We're also going to use a little bit of limes in this to give us that hot honey lime chicken. We're going to use a little bit of the butter, both with some garlic on the griddle. We're also going to use it to incorporate into our sauce. Going to use some salt for the chicken for seasoning. We've got the Frank's RedHot here that's going to be primarily for the heat. And we've got some locally sourced honey. Here's some garlic powder. Since we're going to put some salt in the chicken, we're not using garlic salt. It's going to be garlic powder mixed with the butter inside the sauce to give it that buttery garlic flavor. Lastly, when we garnish, we're going to use some sesame seeds, as well as the lime and a little bit of parsley that we're going to put into the bowl. And we've got two different bowls, one for our garnish and one to create our sauce. The only other tools that we're going to need today is going to have a knife to be able to cut the chicken, the limes, etc. And then also a fork with a napkin or paper towel. And this part's important to help remove the tendon easily from the chicken. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to make our sauce first because we want that to really be able to marinate and those flavors mix well together. So we're going to take about 3 tablespoons of butter, throw that into the dish. I popped it into the microwave just a little bit to get that to start to melt. And then once that's softened, then we can go ahead and incorporate some of our other ingredients into that. I used about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then about 3/4 to a cup of the Frank's RedHot. And go ahead and we'll just mix all that together and get that incorporated really well. So my boss actually has bees in a beehive behind her house, and she gave me some locally sourced honey, so I really wanted to try that in this recipe. So I took about 3 tablespoons, about 1/4 cup, and put that into the sauce. And then we're going to mix that sauce to incorporate it and get that nice good flavor. This sauce was awesome because it had a good amount of heat from the Frank's RedHot, but it had that sweetness and the sourness that came from the lime notes and also from the honey. Again, we're just going to mix this really well. You can put this into the microwave again if you want to for a few seconds, and it'll help that to be able to really liquefy and all mix well together. So for the chicken, this is pretty easy. If you grab the tendon with the paper towel, you can try to do it with your fingers, but it easily slips out. But I found a paper towel really does a great job of being able to hold onto that tendon. Then you can stick the fork between the chicken and your finger and just push the chicken tender down, and it'll pop that tendon right out. The next step is we just took the chicken tenders with the tendon removed, and we just did 1-inch cubes with these. Try to make them as uniform as possible. So after that, I went ahead and cleaned the cutting board really well because I wanted to use that for my limes. And then I take the limes, I like to roll them because by rolling them on the cutting board, it helps loosen the juices up inside and makes it a lot easier for you to squeeze that lime. So we're simply going to cut the limes here in half, and then we're going to reserve those to use later on in the recipe. I didn't put any in the sauce, but I used them when I'm cooking the chicken to give it that flavor, and also use it as the end as a final garnish. So with the parsley, we're just going to tear off a little bit of the sprigs of the top. What I found is the easiest thing to do is actually pinch it all up into a ball, and then as you release your finger slightly, it'll kind of come out automatically as you go ahead and chop that. It makes it really easy to chop parsley that way. And that's all of our ingredients, so let's go ahead and head on out to the griddle. Alright, so we've got the griddle out here on a medium temperature. I put a little bit of oil down. Doesn't have to be a lot, but just enough to get the chicken to go on there and not stick. And we're just going to go ahead and cook the first side of the chicken about halfway through. This is also where we're going to salt this chicken here and give it a little bit of seasoning. After it's about halfway cooked, we're going to go ahead and flip these over and get the other side going. So I tossed the other 3 tablespoons of butter into the middle of the chicken here, and we're going to go ahead and get that chicken to start getting some good buttery flavor as we're cooking the second side. Once our butter reduces, we're going to go ahead and take some garlic paste and put the garlic paste into the chicken as well. And again, we're just going to mix it up and incorporate really well, making sure that chicken gets cooked. Once the chicken's about 90% is when we're going to go to our next step here. Alright, so our chicken is about 90%, and so we're going to take the RedHot sauce that we made, that garlic lime sauce, and go ahead and pour that onto it. I poured about half of it on there. At first, you can always add more. Right now, it's real liquidy, it's really runny, but what you'll notice is the more that you let the heat hit this, the more that it's going to start to reduce and get a little more sticky. Now I turn the heat off while I'm doing this because I don't want the sauce to burn. I'm just doing a slow reduction at this point in time. But you can see that there's still plenty of heat for this to be able to do what it needs to do. You just need to keep incorporating and working that chicken with the sauce for that sauce to finally reduce. So once that reduces to your satisfaction, you can easily throw some sesame seeds on there and then go ahead and incorporate those in there, and then it's time to plate. So after you've got it plated, this is the final presentation mode. We're going to put some parsley on here, squeeze a little bit of extra lime in there as well to give it that extra lime juice flavor. This is really where it can really pop out and stand out. This is an easy dish to make. This is one I made for the Great Griddle Off for the Blackstone Griddle Recipe Griddle Off for 2023. And I entered this as my submission for the tailgate category. And for me, this one is a perfect thing to make because I love chicken wings. There's no bones in this, but this flavor is just outstanding. So if you want to see this and other recipes that I've got, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll make sure to let you know as soon as I send out other content. All right, guys, thanks for watching.